Someone without OCD might wonder why someone experiencing OCD can't just let go of the thought and can't just not think about the thought. And it would be a bit like asking someone without OCD to not think about a pink hippo. Obviously, despite them trying their hardest not to, they're going to start thinking about a pink hippo. The more someone with OCD tries to suppress the thought that's caused them a lot of anxiety to begin with, the more it comes back, because it's actually reacting to it in a fearful way, trying to push it away, and that reaction is remembered by the brain and body, and that attention that you've given it is confirmation that it was dangerous and needs to keep coming back and needs to keep being checked on. The first time I remember having an intrusive thought was age 13, which was really scary because now I recognise that as OCD, but at the time I just thought it was real to some extent. It was only when I was 19 that I felt really, really lost about the intrusive thoughts that had become really debilitating. I think I looked up, why am I having these scary thoughts? It said, these are symptoms of OCD. I think like most people, I thought that OCD was about cleaning and tidiness and kind of a quirk, and I hadn't deeply thought about it. But when I read online that what I was experiencing was in fact actual OCD, that did feel quite jarring because, like I say, I think I had taken in the stereotypes, like most of the population, I suppose. So it was quite a big revelatory experience to be like, oh my God, this is what's been causing me all this pain. The process of finding out that I had OCD felt really relieving, but also made me quite angry that I'd had an image that was so far from the truth, and that other people would also find it really difficult to know what they were experiencing. In a lot of the world, thoughts are seen as who we are and quite closely linked to our wants. And I think that in OCD then they're just the opposite of that. For people experiencing OCD, the intrusive thoughts cause a lot of anxiety. So my thoughts tend to be around harm to myself, harm coming to myself, or harm coming to others. And where other people might be able to see that as a thought and let it go, I feel so much responsibility to make sure that it doesn't happen, that the what if thought doesn't come true. By using behaviors like rumination, memory checking, reassurance seeking, asking people for reassurance about that what if thought, researching it online to make sure that it doesn't come true. So there's an overinflation of responsibility, not being able to tolerate the doubt or uncertainty that might come with a certain thought. It just feels too hard to move past. It feels like you need to do behaviors in order to get on with your day and be safe ultimately, and for the people you love or people in the world to be safe.
I can't put it into words because I'm not understanding why I'm having these thoughts. It's almost as if there's a whirring in the background. You can just have a random intrusive thought out of absolutely nowhere. When I was on the bus, actually, I just had an intrusive thought about fighting the guy in front of me, and I was like, what on earth is going on? Imagine you're someone who doesn't like to be violent and you have those type of thoughts. It would quite terrify most people. Believe that their thoughts will put them inside a jail. I pretty much wanted to escape the situation, so I jumped off the bus. I went around the corner and just broke down in absolute tears. It was just, you just want to get out of the situation. You panic, you become quite terrified. It's like being shot with a massive amount of cortisol or adrenaline. You're stuck in pretty much fight. Sometimes it can be freeze for some people, but for me it's more so flight. You just want to get out of the situation. ERP, exposure response prevention, it's all about trying to get people to not respond to the intrusive thoughts that they have, to stop the obsessive compulsive cycle. It's proven to help a lot of people, but funnily enough, it has very high rates for people dropping out because it's quite brutal. You are putting people in front of their very worst fears. I think ERP gave license to go back out into the world to face the things that my brain suddenly out of nowhere became quite afraid of. Like many other anxiety disorders, you create a step-by-step ladder to attack whatever the fear is that you have, and you build it incrementally as time goes on, and it's the idea of habituation. So the more you do something and the more you're exposed to something, your brain learns to stop screaming at you. Your brain learns to realize this is not a threat, this is not a danger, that you'll be okay.